On Friday, we are going to have a Remembrance Day service that will be really one of the best things that's going to happen in this school really in decades, in terms of like a very historic event. If you notice in front of the principal's office, last Friday, the War Memorial, which we've been working towards, and again, there's still a couple more projects coming forward in our Hall of Fame up on that second floor. But if you take a look at the War Memorial that is now up and finished in front of the principal's office, you're going to see the plaques of about 70 or so, a little more than that, former cathedral students who died in one of the First or Second World Wars. And I got to give so much credit to all the staff who helped with it, but Mr. Laporte is the driving force behind this effort. And if you stand in front of that, talk about maximizing your opportunities. If you stand in front of that, I found myself standing in front of it. I was by myself. The school was empty. And I couldn't walk away because I looked at each one of the faces of all those photographs that Mr. Laporte has gathered up in, and some of these, young men have been gone for like 6 and 7 decades. And they're all people who went to Cathedral, lost their lives in the war, and so that we could have the opportunities that we have. And not a lot of schools have this kind of history and this kind of tradition. And again, it's something we all try to live up to. So I encourage you to spend some time in front of that War Memorial when you have a chance. I actually saw a couple kids staring at it this morning. And think about your blessings and think about the sacrifices others have made for us to have this wonderful free country of Canada where we have all the opportunities available to us. So, and on Friday, we're going to have Bishop Crosby here in person, and he's going to bless the War Memorial. And that statue of Mary that's in the front was originally blessed by Bishop Ryan himself in the 40s when they first, the student council raised something like $5,000 like 80 years ago, which would have been a huge sum of money to memorialize their friends and family members who had lost their lives in the war. So we're kind of coming back around, I think about 75 years later, when Bishop Ryan blessed our statue of Mary for our fallen heroes from Cathedral. And now we're going to have Bishop Crosby here on Friday and a wonderful assembly. We're going to have a lot of special guests, including families of the people who lost their lives in the war are still going to be showing up. I think we have about 10 to 12 families who are going to come to visit Cathedral. So I know students, you'll be on your best behavior Friday, but you're part of a great history. And again, thank you to Mr. Laporte, but spend some time, make sure you get a look at it, staff and students, before Friday so you know exactly what we're talking about. And on a more negative note, we've got students parking in the staff parking lot, and we are going to crack down. Again, we kind of count on people to follow the rules. There is no student parking in the Wilson Street parking lot. So students, I suggest you get your car out of that lot before you get tagged and towed. And staff, just a reminder that if you can please make sure you've got your tags visible in your cars and that we know which car you drive to work so that we can take care of that over the next couple days. And we're also going to need all the parking spots on Friday as well. But students, you're not allowed to park in the Wilson Street parking lot, and we've had some problems with that in the last couple weeks especially. So please make sure you follow those rules. If you're going to bring a car to school, you've got to find a place to park, and that's not going to be easy. And lastly, everybody's asking me about my new fresh haircut. I have to shout out to Hamza, who is in Miss Mundo's barbershop class. And now, you may be aware, students will know this, my brother, the principal of St. Thomas More, had a very public haircut, which got like 500,000 views, and that's not an exaggerated number, on TikTok. But we just did a little private service, me and Hamza. He volunteered to cut my hair, and he did a great job. But I also wanted to give a shout out to Miss Mundo and the barbershop class, along with all the cosmetology classes we run at Cathedral, and the people down at King's Cuts. They were very nice to me down there. So anyways, a little bit of shout out to King's Cuts. All right, so have a great day, everyone, and maximize your opportunities here at Cathedral.
Thanks, sir. Attention all grade 12 students who plan on applying to university this year. The personal identification numbers for the Ontario University Application Centre are now in guidance. Please come see Mrs. Verdasco's office in guidance to receive your PIN in order to start the university application process. The deadline to complete university applications is January 12th.
Attention all students who are registered for co-op second semester. Please submit your resume and permission form to Mrs. Tambasco or Mrs. LaRue in guidance ASAP. Failure to do so may result in less co-op options and opportunities for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to see one of the co-op teachers in guidance.
This is an important message from Madame Morrison. The parent information night for the St. Donat trip has been canceled for now. Please see Madame Morrison with any questions you might have.
And speaking of trips, any student who is currently enrolled in a music, art, or drama course and is interested in attending a 4-day, 3-night trip to New York City in May is asked to see Mr. Walker in room 114 to sign up for this amazing opportunity. It will be a 4-day, 3-night art focus trip where students will be seeing a Broadway show, going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, visiting the 9/11 Memorial, walking in Central Park, Soho, Greenwich Village, walking the Brooklyn Bridge, and visiting many more exciting and beautiful locations. Again, for more information and sign up, please see Mr. Walker in room 114. Spots available, so sign up ASAP.
All Halloween for Hunger participants, listen up. You must check the bulletin board outside of Miss O'Keefe's office to ensure that they have your last name and they have the correct spelling of your name, that you're receiving the correct number of hours, 10 hours if you did both leafleting and collecting on Halloween night in a group, 5 hours if you did only one of those two things, 5 hours if you drove only, 5 hours for the party volunteers, or 8 hours for the annex volunteers. Executive committee hours will be given out later. Initial beside your name and/or make any changes to your name directly on the bulletin board. Hours will be submitted to the guidance office this week.
The first trial for the senior girls volleyball team is this Thursday at 4:45 p.m. in the gym. And this is a reminder to the senior boys volleyball team to hand in your jersey to room 319. Thanks from Mr. Parker.
And lastly, the novice boys basketball roster will be posted today at lunch by room 206. Thanks for Mr. Susie.
And those are all of your announcements for today, Cathedral.
Have a great day, gals, and thanks for watching.